Episode 415. Another wave of applause swept through the arena. The vast majority of the audience had no idea about the subtle details that allowed Joe Zekai's Barrett sniper shot to land so cleanly and brutally. But that headshot was just so damn impressive, so damn satisfying to watch, that it was more than enough to earn their roaring applause. Cloudpiercer, however, had already turned away, continuing to fly forward with gunfire propulsion. Behind him, the Battle Mage and Berserker players were fighting a running retreat. These two classes had few mid to long-range attack skills to begin with, and now, locked in their own struggle, they were completely powerless to stop Cloudpiercer from breaking away into a commanding lead. The match lost its suspense for the champion so quickly, which made it a bit dull. But for a fun, casual event like this, you rarely see people treating the final outcome as the main attraction. Right now, Cloudpiercer's flashy and stable aerial gunplay was the first highlight. The two pro players locked in a fierce duel behind him were the second, and the four audience players, who were already fully immersed in a chaotic four-way brawl as they ran, were the third. The witch, who'd been shot out of the sky, scrambled back up, now dead last. She hastily remounted her broom and raced to catch up, becoming the fourth spectacle. In this match, the commentators and the big screen replays won't focus on technical details. They'll mostly pick out the funny moments and coincidences to break down for the audience. This match wasn't just hoping for applause from the players, but for everyone's laughter as well. It seems the first match was a success. After Joe Zekai's Cloudpiercer left everyone in the dust, the championship was a foregone conclusion. The ensuing squabble over second place just felt a bit pointless. The remaining players relaxed even more, treating this as nothing more than a game for fun. At first, the pros only fought each other, too polite to pick on the audience. But as the audience grew bolder and started challenging the pros, the two sides quickly devolved into a chaotic, hilarious free-for-all. With a blast of the whistle, Joe Zekai had already crossed the finish line. The chaotic pack behind him, however, had dwindled to just 4 players, 4 spectators. 3 of the original group had been eliminated during the mad dash. The sole survivor was that female player, a clear sign that the 3 pros had gone a little easier on her. Honestly, if they'd been serious, those 3 would have left the audience players in the dust long ago. They wouldn't have gotten tangled up in that messy brawl with them. But in the end, everyone was just in it for the fun, so we just threw down in a messy free-for-all. So now, the 4 of them were a chaotic mess as they neared the finish line. Somehow, the Battle Mage and the Berserker suddenly found a moment of unspoken understanding. They teamed up to bully the witch on her broomstick, and before they even reached the finish, they managed to take her out. Then the 2 of them got into another brawl, deliberately giving the female spectator an opening. Only after the girl crossed the finish line in second place did the 2 of them finally brawl their way across it. The race was over. The electronic scoreboard, playing its part, displayed everyone's ranking and times. It even listed stats like damage dealt and damage taken, the kind of data you'd only see in a competition. The commentators' playful banter over the stats and rankings kept the atmosphere light and cheerful. Then the 8 players returned to the stage. The female player who came in second received a brief hug from the champion Joe Zekai, as the host explained. Her face flushed. She ran off the stage, forgetting her prize entirely. The other 3 pro players clearly weren't bothered by the in-game violence at all, happily playing along with the host.
So Zekai, you really won the championship. How are you feeling?
Even a god-tier player like him still had to be interviewed. And this question was one Joe Zekai had clearly answered 1,000 times before. He responded the instant the host finished speaking. "I'm very happy." But that was all he said, just those 3 words, and then he was done, simply watching the host laugh. The host didn't dare to say much more. The day's events were all about pleasing the fans and audience. After exchanging a few more lines with each of the 3 male audience members and handing out commemorative gifts, the first event, the hurdles race, came to an end. The second event was the high jump competition. But this wasn't about height, it was about speed. The goal was to see who could leap to the highest point the fastest. In previous years, this stage always featured a mountain peak or a tall building. This year, however, the holographic projection produced only a series of floating stepping platforms. It was, of course, a design choice to make the holograms easier to manage. If they'd used a mountain or a building again, projecting it in the center of the arena. Then no spectator, from any angle, could have seen the whole thing. But with just these launched platforms, it's like having a transparent mountain or skyscraper. The audience can see every player from any seat.
Next, let's welcome someone we all know and love from Excellent Era team, Miss Su Mucheng.
The host's introduction was met with thunderous applause from the crowd. Even fans of rival teams found it hard to dislike a beautiful player like Su Mucheng. It was no exaggeration to say she was loved by all and adored by flowers. Unless it was a home team player, no other top-tier pro could have matched the thunderous applause she was getting.
Su Mucheng. Su Mucheng.
Chen Guo was so excited she jumped up again, but Ye Shu felt a slight unease in his heart. Su Mucheng brought a telescope. She wouldn't have done that just to spot me and wave, would she? Did this guy actually count the seat numbers, planning to call me up on stage? That's just the kind of playful prank you'd expect from Su Mucheng. But knowing full well that Ye Shu never showed his face in public, pulling a prank like this without asking him first was a bit too willful. To Ye Shu, this didn't seem like something Su Mucheng would do.
Mucheng, how are you planning to select the 4 audience members?
The host's voice was brimming with excitement, probably because the earlier interaction with Zhou Zikai had been so stifling.
Let's just pick randomly for now.
Su Mucheng said.
Alright, let's get the screen rolling. You call stop.
The host finished speaking, and the electronic screen began to roll.
Stop.
Su Mucheng's shout came almost faster than Zhou Zikai's. The host nearly tripped on stage, and the whole venue erupted in laughter. Chen Guo finished laughing, then remembered to check the seat number. Seeing it wasn't hers, she felt a wave of disappointment. This time, with her idol on stage, Chen Guo's sense of anticipation was on a whole different level. The speechless host didn't dare ask Su Mucheng to slow down her call again, terrified she'd start imitating Zhou Zikai. For the second round, Su Mucheng acted quite normally, letting the electronic screen roll for a while before calling a stop.